Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sister Luv Squadcast. This is episode 27. Today, we are doing our cover song comparisons because it is the beginning of the month, and we have kind of a different song that we're featuring today. So, we were reading a book on country music history, I think it was, when we came across this, which is funny because this song isn't technically a country song, but it was recorded by an early country group, and so we got researching it a bit, and this song was written in 1909. So there are so many covers of it. We're going to go through a few, and maybe you've heard this song, maybe you haven't. So let's go on this journey with the song I Wonder Who's Kissing Her Now.
And there were two technical first versions of the song. There is a recording of the first live performance, but I decided to go with the first actual recording of it, and that was by Henry Burr in June of 1909.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
So I didn't know this, but it was originally in a Broadway musical called The Prince of Tonight.
Which came out in 1909.
Yes, I believe so.
Was it originally done by Chauncey Alcott?
Nope, that wasn't the one that the live recording was. I don't remember who the live recording was, but it wasn't Chauncey Alcott.
Okay. Because maybe not the first time I heard of the song, but like the time sticks in my head, I first remember hearing it, was in the Betsy Tacy series by Maud Hart Lovelace. She would have Betsy singing that one, Waltz Me Around Again Willie, and Down by the Old Mill Pond are the ones that her and the gang would sing a lot.
Yeah. That's one of the first times that it stuck out to me in recent history is when you were reading through those. This just amazes me because this is something we don't listen to. I mean, we as in everybody doesn't listen to very often. This was in 1909. He went in and recorded this, and we can hear it today.
Yeah.
And you know there's no auto-tune on it.
Well, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing, and it's a different style of singing. And you almost wonder how that style came to be.
That's what I was thinking when it was playing about. There's somebody who put this on it could have been not my grandmother. She wasn't born yet. And loved it.
Yeah.
You know, the way he sang and the music and everything. And I'm sitting here listening to it going, that's kind of interesting singing. The way he was.
I know.
It's more operatic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder
But
partially.
This would be like you listening to the Monkees, maybe.
I know.
You don't think about that it was like a popular tune.
Do you think that's because it was very popular to have sheet music and to like have more sing-along things that everybody could sing together, like Betsy and Tacy were doing in the books, rather than listening to music for an emotional meaning, if that makes sense, like we do more so now?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like it wasn't as much of a emotional outlet as it was a social thing to do at gatherings.
Yeah, and it had to been available for, just band, too, because there was a lot of dances.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a song, you were dancing to and you had memories in that way. But I have to a little bit stop and think, okay, records like the 1909. When was kind of the peak that records started becoming the norm, aside from sheet music?
Oh, that was like 30s, I think.
Well, they had Victrolas and everything in 1910 and that. So, I mean, not everybody did, I'm sure. It was more of a high society, richer thing as far as I know. Because everybody had to, they always had somebody that would play the piano and play the sheet music. Yeah. So if you had that, you didn't always need the Victrola.
Yeah, I watched something on Tin Pan Alley. I think Linda and Xena did too. And it was the 30s, I think, that it started. They made the people who ran Tin Pan Alley, who were cranking out all these songs, didn't think that the records were going to last.
Right.
So they didn't invest in that. They didn't change with the times in that way, and that's when their downfall came. So I think that was in the 30s, they said.
Mm-hmm.
Mid to
But
late.
what I'm thinking of as I'm listening to it and as we're discussing that, and somebody who would have been putting this on, we now take so for granted recorded music.
Yes.
Because we can play it in any format, in any way. It's accessible. And in some ways, it's caused us to be lazy. Like, do I really need to pay to go to a concert? Do I need to pay to hear it live? When this is being released, this is a luxury and an oddity.
Yep.
You would have went to a concert hall. You would have went to a dance.
Yep.
You would have heard it. So hearing this is totally different to their ears than it would be to our ears. I just think that's fascinating. So we're going to see how this song evolves through the years.
Well, as far as I remember when I was looking on secondhand songs, as always, there are more versions than what we will play in this episode on secondhandsongs.com. If you just search the song, you can find all the versions. But I'm actually skipping to 1937 because I don't think there was actually a lot between those two times. So Jimmy Davis recorded it in 1937, and I don't know the singer. So we'll be listening to somebody that we haven't heard before, too.
I wonder who's kissing her now. I wonder who's teaching her how.
Well, this one had kind of a Hawaiian feel to it, coupled with the country.
Yeah.
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 Which is interesting because it was such a, I guess, evolution or conglomeration of the different sounds. Like, you're not yet to the 40s, which is big band. But you're not quite out of the 20s, which was big on Hawaiian and ukulele. Like, that is where Love Me Tender, right? Wasn't Love Me Tender? No, Blue Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii.
That's right.
Yeah.
Blue Hawaii came out of the song. That was actually just a ukulele song, a sheet music song.
Yeah, even though there's such a jump in the time frame, you can still hear the influence from the original version. They did cut out the long intro.
Yes.
That's such a major deal in the 1900s and the 20s.
Yes.
Everything had that intro, which I find is interesting because that's very theatrical.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It had a slight comeback, I feel like, in the 40s.
For some of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Shirley Temple songs have it.
So between this one and the first one, I could understand the words better in the second one.
Well, it's going to be that way because of the quality of the recording.
That's part of it, yep.
To record in 1909, you were having to sing into a big megaphone in order for it to get picked up and laid down. We actually saw a video of a modern day group at a college had to record a little bit the way they did in the 1920s. And
they would have been fine if they weren't so loud.
Yeah, they were like belting it instead of just singing into it, and it picked it up very badly. But it was interesting to see how it was actually recorded onto the vinyl.
This is where that book we were reading about the beginnings of country music and how it started, because you started having the culture clash, which has always been there, always that struggle in country music. You had the people who were from the mountains, from the hills, had the country, the legend songs, and they were just singing them any way they wanted. You know what I mean? They made their own instruments. They had a different way of playing. They made their own rules. Then you had the people from the town that would start singing the country music because it was popular, but they, of course, wanted to put that more refined, in their opinion, spin on it. So in this rendition, you can hear how he is appealing to the country sound with the twang. But he also has a little bit of that refined tone.
Yes. Yep.
And when you mention that Hawaiian sound, what I find is really cool is they're obviously using a form of the steel guitar.
Yeah,
for that.
There's Hawaiian guitar in there, definitely.
But it's amazing how in the 30s and 40s it kept the Hawaiian sound. And then when we get into more country music of the 50s, 60s, 70s, the steel guitar takes on a whole different sound. Like in a lot of the country songs, it doesn't sound Hawaiian anymore.
Well, I wonder if part of that was the way they started making them. Like they made them more electric than
True.
acoustic.
And the way it's played, I'm sure, you know.
And anytime you turn an instrument electric, then you start using different distortion, different filters, different, settings on it with the amplifier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was really interesting version. I did actually like it.
Yeah. All right. So next, this one is in 1947 too. So it'll give us a different
47 or
Yeah.
37.
Sorry, I have two from 1947, so we're skipping to 1947. Okay. So 10 years from the last one that we played. This one is Jerry Cooper.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Now you can hear the influence of the big band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or crooner even coming in.
Well, yeah. This one, it's getting... I still hear the influence of the original even.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. They haven't broken out of that. It's just the instrumental. He is a little softer. Mm-hmm. I have to say that.
The pacing was more like the original, though.
Right.
I did like but I have a soft spot for saxophone. The saxophone solo was nice in it, I thought.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't like the second one. He didn't have the country feel to it. But I really liked his voice because it was rich and smooth. Mm-hmm. So I almost feel like it was a clearer version of the original. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I noticed is so signature 47 and even carried over into the 50s is those notes he would do. No. You know what I mean? When he does that little curl, I just think that I love that. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard that with earlier until you got into the 40s.
Right, you definitely have more emotion now coming in through the singer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the singer, I think, wants to be more dynamically different from other sounds,
The one thing I have to say about this version, too, is, coming off of World War II, it has that feeling.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of has that feeling.
Well, could it harken back to Frank Sinatra and when they had to... sing without a band?
I'm wondering.
Yeah, because that wasn't that 42?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they had to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in their vocals.
Right.
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, it's also interesting to think Jerry Cooper, that's what you said?
Yes.
Him singing that song in 1947 would be like us singing a song from 1987 today.
With the time that
the
had
time
passed.
difference, yeah. So I mean, you think it's a lot further apart. I think a lot of that is because the sound of the music, the fashion. I mean, compared to 1909, the dresses and stuff of the 40s are a lot shorter. The hair is different.
There's a lot of life that happened between 1909. A lot of war, a lot of
wars,
all kinds of change. Yeah. So that's true.
Yeah, the musician strike was 42 to 44. So after that, you can even hear in this that the singer is more of the showcase, like we talked about in that episode when we talked about the musician strike. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It didn't start out with a long instrumental introduction.
No, it didn't.
All right, so here's another version from 1947. I picked it because I knew the singer, and this was one of the first ones that I actually knew, and it is actually Danny Kaye and the Ken Darby Singers.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Okay, I absolutely love Danny Kaye's voice. It's so rich and it's so soothing.
As I was listening to it, I did think people don't really give him credit for being a good singer because
he's underrated.
He's all about comedy usually in the roles he plays.
Yeah. Right. Usually you don't hear that richness and smoothness in Danny Kaye's voice because he has some really fun songs. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, you don't usually hear him croon like that.
No, but you can really hear his voice in it. Like, it's very distinct. Like, some singers, their singing voice sounds totally different than their talking voice. Mm-hmm. But you can really hear Danny's talking voice in there. And he actually does have a cool talking voice.
It's different.
Yeah.
It is unique.
Soothing.
I'd say the most he gets the chance to croon like that would be on White Christmas, actually.
Mm-hmm.
White Christmas or Hans Christian Andersen.
I was going to say. He has a few songs that are more like that. because it isn't as much of a comedy role.
Yeah.
You know, when he's the court jester, you know, he hams it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit. A lot. But that's true. I still think that it's not too drastic. It hasn't strayed too far from its original intent.
No. Nobody's made a boogie woogie out of it yet.
Not yet.
Is there going to be one, JLee?
There might be. This next one we're jumping to 1950. So we're out of the 40s, and it is the Ray Charles Trio.
Oh.
So they always take it their own way.
Like in the Ray Charles?
I wonder who's kissing her now. I wonder who's teaching.
I would have not thought that was
Ray Charles?
Ray Charles. It sounds
No.
almost like Nat King Cole.
I thought the same
Yeah,
thing.
a
little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. Because that's who I thought. I thought, this sounds more like Nat.
I did have a feeling it had more of like a jazz feeling to it, though, to me.
Yep.
They are changing the arrangement slightly.
It was a little more jazzy, bluesy.
It's with that piano style. I didn't hear in the other years that piano style coming in.
Yeah,
No.
it'd be interesting to hear the different versions around this year, like the ones just leading up to this version, or if that is just Ray Charles' iconic piano playing, that he changed it.
Could be.
Well, I think partially it would be that. I don't have, anything to compare it to, except for, 1947 isn't that far away from 1950. Really.
No.
For that drastic
3 years.
music to change. People think 50s and they think the rock and roll and all that, but that didn't come in until
57.
57,
Yeah.
in there. That's the later 50s.
Yeah.
1955, number one song was Sincerely by the McGuire sisters.
Yeah.
So you miss a lot because people box the 50s into one genre of music.
Yep.
Yep. And that's because I realized it shifted things. It was a really drastic change, but it also was a short period. That's what people don't understand. So much music packed in such a sound and impact on the whole world. But it was just the tail end of the 50s. And the minute it hit 1960, you already start shifting into something a little bit different.
That is drastic change. Like 47 to 50 isn't. But 59 to 60, 49 to 50 isn't different. But 59 to 60 definitely is.
I know.
And it'd be interesting. So the generation that was teenagers when that was going on would have been the generation that was born like 1940-ish. So they were kids in the 50s. But then they also were teenagers when the really wild... It'd just be interesting to know like what those people grew up and did, like what shows they produced, and that formed the coming generation's thought of the 50s. So like when was Gary Marshall born, who did Happy Days?
Oh, I see what you're
Probably.
saying.
40s?
Probably early 40s. Is he like Cliff Richard, Tom Jones age?
You'd have to look it up.
I think he's more 30s. I could be wrong.
Really?
I think he was born in the 30s.
Yeah, Gary
Yeah.
Marshall.
It'd just be interesting to know what that generation did to tell coming generations what their view of the 50s was like.
And where it kind of
Well,
came in.
my mom was in 55. She was 22.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she was born in 33.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the music difference from 33 to 55.
Yeah.
Just how much it changed. Went through the big band. And then it went into the big band swing era type thing in the 40s. And then my dad, he was 6 years. He was born in 28.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different changes in the... So you're looking at people who were born in just post-war.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think what my point was that because we have this like stereotypical 1950s, when you're in your teenage years, that's when music has the most impact on you.
Okay, Gary Marshall was born 34.
34.
Oh.
So he's
Okay.
my mom's he would have been my
Oh
mom.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously the more rockabilly sound reminded him of the 50s because that's kind of what he incorporated into Happy Days.
Well, Elvis was born in 34.
It's true. Yeah, you're kind of going from the right that they kind of shaped, even if it was unwittingly, the view that now has warped out into people thinking it's only...
This is what I was Oh, go ahead, Shelly. I have a longer point, so...
Asked me 2 years ago, and I could have told you exactly what year it was supposed to be. I believe it was 55 when Happy Days was supposed to have started. Maybe 56.
Yeah, I think that the first season is supposed to be 55.
So 55 would be probably the first signs of that.
Yeah, the first inklings of that. But you still have, like, in 55, like JLee said, sincerely, Back to the Future is based in 55. So you have Mr. Sandman playing Davy Crockett theme, Earth Angel, Johnny Be Good.
See,
Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good is actually later.
Well, it's a year later.
Yeah.
So what this plays into, I can kind of see what you're saying. We've kind of taken a long road to make a point here. But for my birthday, the squad got me the full album pop collection of Mark Winter, which is one of my favorite singers, and he's a British artist. And there's this thick pamphlet inside that tells all about his life and his music and the journey through his music, and then a few comments from different people he's worked with. And one of those people was Tim Rice, who is a lyricist for lots of Broadway musicals, great
Disney movies.
Amazing lyricist.
Yeah, love Tim Rice. But he made a statement that was interesting. He said he loves the British invasion era, but one, he feels like it's injustice to some artists because when people think British invasion, they just think of the boy bands that came over, like the Beatles, because they made the biggest impact, yes, but artists like Cliff Richard or Mark Winter or even other single artists came over. They were all a part of that and they were influencing people. But nobody knows that because in the books, in the documentaries, all that, they don't even get a small mention. So the next generations only know of the most famous people from the British invasion.
Right.
It's kind of what you're saying about the 50s. The people only know of the most famous and the ones that made the biggest change because people don't give the full history.
Yes,
because it's not even the most famous. Because I mean, Dean Martin was famous in the 50s. It's who made the biggest change. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I do think it's interesting because, as you're saying, Gary Marshall was around the same age as your mom, or the way your parents were affected by the time. Yeah. I think that with music, it really depends on where you're at and what you're listening to. Like, you could take the 1970s, say. Somebody who is listening to the start of hard rock and that is going to have a whole different point of view on music and that exact era than somebody who absolutely loved the Carpenters.
Yep.
Yeah, now his sister, speaking of Gary Marshall, Penny, she would have been 16 in 59.
Okay.
She'd have been right in the teen of
just
that.
as it's going into a whole different
All right,
situation. Whereas he would have been in the earlier...
He would have been in his late 20s in 59, which is interesting that her music taste, which would be her teenage years, impacted him. Honestly.
Well, yeah.
So much.
And as far as, like, with my dad, his influence, there was different things besides this type of music. Because he would have been listening to, which he would have been listening to on the radio, like the Waltons. I think that's kind of cool.
It is.
But, yeah, his would have been more country.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, more of the Carter influence.
More like what the Waltons listen to.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure about my mom, but she did like Elvis.
Yeah.
But he was her age too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ties into yesterday I was on a webinar about music and the guy hosting it was talking about sound and how it affects the human brain, and they've been doing studies on this. And he did experiments, and I'm not going to go into the whole detail of it, but basically your brain processes sound faster than anything else. Light hits your eye faster than noise hits your ear, but your brain processes the sound faster. That's why it's very important to have the proper music behind your ads and everything when you're a company running ads. But that kind of ties into what you were saying, Xena, about the 70s and like how somebody listening to hard rock is going to have a different perspective. It literally can paint your view of how you view the world.
Right. Sound can. Music
Sound
can.
Yeah. Which fits into what I was saying. It's interesting that the movies and everything that came out about the 50s all have that same flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing that
they don't really
stuck.
put in the McGuire sisters.
No.
They don't really put in, those singers that actually were on the top of the charts in the middle of the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, Spielberg does, like, a lot of the music in that. So he uses a lot of good music.
I do appreciate in Back to the Future that he did put in a wide variety of the music that was popular.
Yes.
And didn't just go with, he did put the Chuck Berry stuff in and a nod to that, but the music that's playing on the street is not that.
No, that's pretty accurate. You got to give a shout out to that because, I mean, Davy Crockett, the Ballad of Davy Crockett was a #1 hit.
For both Fess Parker and Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Right.
Yep.
And
Two
they're
different
playing it
versions of
in
it.
there. And
Yes.
that's mind-blowing because everybody thinks, 50s, that means Chuck Berry, Johnny B. Good, And that was a precursor because that's why he's saying you're not ready for,
Yeah.
It was new to them.
Yeah, and even in the second one, when Biff is on the way to the dance, Mambo Italiano.
No,
it's
Papa Loves Mambo.
Papa Loves Mambo by Perry Como comes on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we perform that one, I always get that.
That's why it's important to listen to all different genres and all different eras to really understand our history.
Yep.
I mean, that sounds crazy, but if sound affects us that much, then music has been shaping our worldviews and our history.
And how much American music has shaped the world.
True. It's true.
Not to offend any of our fans in other countries, but America truly does determine if a song is going to be a hit.
Yes, we have talked about this before. Not that somebody can't have a hit in another country. Like there are English hits, like I talked about, even Mark Winter. He had hits over there, did not really chart over here, even though he got radio play.
And there's some great songs and musicians.
Yes, from other countries. We're not saying that. But, like I've said before in past episodes, to chart in America, you have to please how many different cultures?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How many different, because we're so massive.
And so mixed from everybody in the world, you have to please the world.
Mm-hmm. We literally have basically different countries within our country because there's different societies that have come together. And for all of them to like your song to get it to #1, you've really made it.
Yeah. And I have to make a note on this. That you are exactly right. But one thing I'm thankful about, I don't usually like current day over days gone by. I usually like the way things ran in the past.
Yep.
One thing I'm very thankful for, in a sense, is how accessible music is. Because that is one thing that you could be partially shadow banned to have a hit. There's a lot of music that if the DJ doesn't play it, it could have been a hit.
Yeah.
So there was that aspect too.
There is more control in the people's hands now because even if it's not getting radio play, even if it doesn't have that many views on YouTube, if Instagram has it to put to your picture, you can play it if you like it.
Just like
Billboard
with Connie
charts
Francis'
aren't just
song.
run off of record sales and radio play anymore. They're ran off of streams, off of being used on social media. So that's where, as an artist, it is great because it's easier to promote yourself without having to be signed on to a record label. It's also a bit overwhelming because it's harder to know where to start and what avenues to go through to get your music heard. So there's pros and cons to it, and I do think there is some in the music industry where a bit of rigging in regards to what's a hit. It isn't based off of popular interest, although that mindset is fading because people are discovering music on their own.
Right. That's what I'm saying is the one good thing. We have to look at, in modern day,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of downside. There's a lot of things we miss. But let's look at the good things and the power that now is in our hands that maybe wasn't at one point.
Right.
Yep.
So to our listeners on that, make sure you are, researching all sorts of different artists, independent artists, supporting them, and realize that you streaming that song really does support them and help them.
And if a post on Facebook comes through either from us or from anyone and you see an artist you don't know, look them up. Give them a chance and a listen.
Boy, we went off on some rabbit trails.
We did.
We should get back to I Wonder Who's Kissing Her Now.
Well, we're still in the 50s, but this is by a group that had a hit with a song based off of a certain candy. Any guesses on what it is?
Cordettes?
Yep. They had a hit with Lollipop, and they recorded this song in 1954.
Wonder who's kissing him now. I wonder who's teaching him how.
It was really interesting how the lower harmony was almost loud as melody.
Or louder.
Or louder than melody.
As a person who does lower harmony, it kind of bothered me. But that's because I hear that louder anyway when I'm listening to music, so I have to ignore that anyway. So when it's that much louder, it's like, ah!
It's almost like they took it back to the original.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't change it at all for the time.
No, this doesn't sound like a 1950s song.
It doesn't. But they didn't have any instruments, I don't believe. I think
All
it was
acapella.
all acapella.
Oh, yeah.
And they did, change the pacing a little bit. They didn't do it straight.
No. But the sound, like when they drag the note up and come back down, that is definitely very early 1920s into the early 30s.
Yeah.
That you're hearing. And it's like, this isn't really the style of music that I would sit down and just be like, oh my goodness, I love this, I need to listen to it. But as I'm listening to it, that's pretty impressive harmony.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so like in 1955, the number one song was Sincerely by the McGuire Sisters, right?
Yeah.
So this kind of had a feel of girl groups or sisters harmonizing in that to me. Of the McGuire Sisters or something like that.
I'm going to disagree with you there. Because, yes, it's a girl group harmonizing, but the McGuire Sisters definitely had that sister blend with, they did it a little more Andrew Sister style in the way that they harmonized together. They put the inflection and the feeling in all together, which is not always the easiest, but especially with Xena sometimes you don't know where she's going, but I've learned to follow her.
That's why I always get the wild part in the Andrew Sisters.
I know, and then when I
freestyle,
and it's like, okay, where is she going to go with this? I don't think the audience ever knows. I hope not. But I don't think they had so much that sound as much as a small choir sound.
Yeah.
That's why it's the 20s, 30s thing that we're talking about. They took it way back.
Right. If I was going to compare it to a group like that, I would say more Lennon Sisters.
And yet still not, because the other thing they did is it was a cappella, and there are so many harmony parts in there, you don't almost even realize everything you're hearing.
Right. Right.
And you don't really know where the song's going. I feel like this song was arranged back where, once again, the orchestra was the focus, which is going to sound crazy because it's a cappella,
right?
But they're singing like instruments. They're not singing like vocals.
That is interesting.
Go ahead. Which that's kind of their thing anyhow, because Lollipop has minimum instruments. Minimal instruments.
Totally different feel, though.
Yeah, it does, but they still have that. I think that's their thing because they're the Cordettes. They're supposed to sound like musical instruments.
Yeah, true.
It's like a vocal arrangement for an orchestra with no instruments.
They're like the original Pentatonics.
In a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially with that loud bass part.
Yeah. And I don't know what you guys think of this. Do you think the McGuire Sisters are kind of a mix of Andrew Sisters and Lennon Sisters in their harmonies? And
I could see that.
way
I
they
think
sing?
they're all unique in their own way.
Yeah.
I feel like the McGuire Sisters definitely belt more than the Andrew Sisters or the Lennon Sisters.
Yeah.
Lennon Sisters are more smooth and flowing when they sing together, and they do a lot of harmony, not so many solos.
Yeah.
Andrew Sisters are just fun. They just go out there and have fun. All right, so now we're going to be entering the 1960s.
Okay.
And this is a British singer who I actually discovered through Spotify suggested music. And I saw that he was on here, so I wanted to add him and see how he does it. And it's Michael Holiday.
Mm.
It was recorded June 9th, 1961.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Well, that one, the background almost had like a Marty Robbins feel.
Either that or a Roy Rogers, I thought. Phil.
Western country.
Yeah.
I would not have thought he was British.
Yeah.
No.
True.
I kind of, you can't tell his accent.
I don't think that he really sang in the style of Marty Robbins, but the arrangement definitely was like that. He had more of the original, but kind of the crooner, Dean kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it felt a little more modern in the way that he... I don't know if it's the way he pronounced it or the way he presented it with more confidence, it felt like.
I really liked his version.
Yeah. Well, I thought you hit the nail on the head with the Marty Robbins, because Marty Robbins, in a way, has songs like The Story of My Life. Definitely crossover country. Early crossover country.
Yep.
Because it sounds like a pop tune, but it also sounds like a country
Yeah,
song.
I loved the traveling guitar in it. That was really cool.
This almost feels like he just sped up the version from, I think it was 37, and dropped the Hawaiian guitar. That's what it kind of felt like to me.
Yeah.
Just picked up on the country feel.
And shout out to his backup singers because they were just enough.
Yes.
Like the producing on that was really done well, because sometimes the backup choir can be overpowering or not enough, but they complemented his voice very well.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we have next. This one is 1 year later in August of 1962, and it is Steve Lawrence.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Well, they kept that a ballad, but I have to say there's something distinctly 60s now about it, because it reminded me of Andy Williams.
Yeah.
I just think it's now soothing.
Yeah.
I was going to say that about the other, what was the other guy's name?
Michael Holiday.
Yeah, it just jumped it up to being, I don't know, maybe because I'm relating to it.
Yeah. Well, I felt like both these arrangements complemented the words.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really weird, but to me, and I don't mean it in a bad way, I mean it in a really good way, his voice sounded like a Hawaiian guitar in that.
I could see
that
what you're
in
saying,
some
the
of
way
his,
he made it flow.
Yeah.
His inflection.
I mean, I liked it. I really did.
It just made me, it threw me back to like a movie where all the men are dressed in suits, or at least nicely, and the women all have, nice clothes on.
Yeah.
Nice clothes. It was clothes they wore all the time. Well, not all the time, but
Nobody was in their pajamas with their hair not combed.
there was no messy buns.
No.
It might have been
No.
curlers, but that's not. But yeah, it's like with the movies you watch
Right,
from that
right.
era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, these ones definitely are
very,
starting to set a vibe.
yeah, very Jackie Kennedy type-ish.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel like just the arrangement themselves make you want to walk a little different.
Well, we will see what this next one does with it, because sometimes he likes to jazz things up a bit. It was recorded February 5th of 1964, and it's done by Bobby Darin.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Well, I really liked the backing to it. It reminded me of Last Date.
I was going to say it
Yeah.
almost sounded like Floyd Kramer playing the piano.
Yeah.
He was doing that little thing that Floyd Kramer's signature. So I wonder if it was. It could have been.
Sounded like him.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I like
Yeah.
Bobby.
I wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first.
Well, you never know where he's going.
No.
Yeah, and it was so drastically different from Steve Lawrence and Michael Holiday. It wasn't soothing, but it was definitely very sad.
Yeah.
Like, you totally felt the emotion in his rendition of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, don't go there. Yeah, that worked.
I know. That's what I kept
Uh-huh.
doing. I'm like, is he off key? He's not. Yeah. It's like, okay, interesting. Yeah, he definitely took it and made it Bobby. Which you didn't expect because it had such a predictable arrangement.
Yes, it did.
That's what I loved about it. It had the same flow and the pretty background singers, and then he did his own thing.
Right, except for that Floyd Kramer piano style in
I
the
don't
background.
I don't think the background was typical at all.
The choir was.
Yeah.
And any other instrumentation was. It was just Bobby and the piano that made it stand out and caused a little bit of tension in it.
So Bobby does have a unique voice. In this, though, I didn't feel or didn't hear his voice as much as Mac the Knife or Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
He wasn't singing as much as he was talking this one.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
This one you felt a lot more than, I mean, he puts a lot of emotion in a lot of his songs, but this one you felt it more personal.
I kind of thought the same thing.
And I think the emotion was a little sweeter than Mac the Knife.
Yes.
True, but I had kind of the same thought on the sense that if you had not told me, would I have recognized that it was him? I mean, there were a few notes I finally did. It's like, okay, yep, now I'm understanding it's Bobby. But right from the get-go, I'm not sure. Although, I mean, as I'm listening to it, you're right about the personal. All I could see was the name Connie Francis in my head.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I don't know when he ended up marrying Sandra Dee. It's 64, so
I think he's married.
he's probably married to her at that point. But yeah, there's definitely that he had felt that before.
So him and Connie Francis.
Her father wouldn't have it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right.
They were in love.
Really liked each other.
That's right.
They went to the same school or something.
Well, they did records together too.
And they were
They're-
put
but I'm-
together, yeah.
Something, didn't she go to a music
School where he was.
school? Yeah, something like that.
Something
That
like
could
that.
be.
I don't know
Yeah.
the full
I could
story.
be totally off.
Was it like a school through the label?
Yeah,
Maybe,
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story on it. I just know that they were in love and her father wouldn't have it. But they did do some records together. It's kind of a Annette Funicello, Paul Anka thing. You know, just didn't work out. Anyway, the next one we're skipping to 1970. And this is Frank Sinatra's rendition.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
So that definitely was not a recording from 1973.
Well, you said it. This
Or
was
1970. Yeah, it definitely was not that. But it was released on an album in 1970 called The First Times.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if it's like a collection of old recordings that were unreleased for him.
It didn't
It
really
must
sound
have
like him to me at all.
It does in his early years.
Yeah. If you go back to his early stuff.
Since he started the
you can-
crooning.
And you can definitely tell the influence of the other that he's using.
Of the first. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did sound more like the 1947 version. Well, then we're not going to compare the arrangement of it now. Because the next one is... Oh, wait a minute. No, we can put off Dean, even though Shelly's dying to hear him. I have one more in 1970 if you want to hear this one.
Yeah.
All right, this is John Randolph Marr.
Wonder who's kissing her now.
All right, so that was a little difficult to find the actual track of him singing it because it's like halfway through the track he goes into that after this weird song.
That was a very weird song in the beginning.
Very odd.
Yes, it was. Who?
Shelley said he sounded like a what?
What? Soft Springsteen.
You didn't do it in the voice you did it in before.
Now I don't remember because I have my very odd voice.
He was a little lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dragging very slowly.
I wonder if he was
like a John
making.
Lennon wannabe.
I wonder if he was making fun of it, like because
I
of the
don't
song
know.
beforehand. Because he joined a circus.
I think he's just odd.
Who is he? Where is he from? What's the deal with him?
No idea. John
I'm
Randolph
sorry.
Marr.
To what is his name?
John Randolph Marr.
I'm sorry to John Randolph Marr, but everybody votes. You're very odd.
is getting a little bit rummy over here. All right,
Moving
let's
on.
move on and give her something.
Moving on.
I think we need to play an artist that's going to calm Shelly down, because he always does. 1973, May 29th, actually, of 1973, Dean Martin released this song.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
I adored that intro and arrangement.
I love Dean's version. He's hands down for me the best.
So far, I have a personal pick. I have liked his the best just because he puts that Dean Martin twist to it.
Yep.
But man, that 1973 arrangement and the choir arrangement is different. It's definitely 70s. I don't know what it is. It just speaks to me.
It had a little bit of that Engelbert Calypso kind of feel, too. Yep.
The intro sounded very Mary Tyler Moore show-ish.
Yeah,
It did,
something.
it did.
Yep.
Did Engelbert do this one?
No, at least he wasn't on the list, so it hasn't been added to secondhand songs if he has.
He should have.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how he would do it. But yeah, you gotta love Dean. You gotta love his arrangement of almost anything.
And look, he stays true to Dean's style of singing, but somehow his style of singing can meld into a different era. It's amazing how he can match an arrangement that is completely the decades of the 70s, but his voice is still distinctly Dean without being outdated.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I love that.
All right, we have one more from 1973, and it's one of Xena's favorite female singers, Vicky Carr. Also, disclaimer on this one, it is from a live album, because they only had the live recording of her, so.
Okay.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
So actually, that was not Vicky Carr.
That was Mr. Very Odd.
It
And I take that back. He did that really nice, but his other song.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better than his record version. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all
Yeah.
about.
So apparently he was Vicky Carr's guitarist.
Yeah.
I liked his voice.
I liked his voice. I did.
I think, and Linda made a comment while we were listening to it that he sounded a lot like Ray Charles in the style that he was singing it, and that I have to agree with. I think that was cool.
Absolutely. He redeemed himself.
Yes.
Yep,
Yes,
how about that?
Very much so.
That's why sometimes you need to listen to different recordings of one person doing a song too, because you never know. You might find a favorite version. Sometimes the live is better. Sometimes the record version is better.
Don't ever judge a singer off of one song.
Nope. Or one live recording. Please don't judge somebody off of a live recording.
And never judge a song off an artist.
Oh, there's
True.
that too.
True.
That's why we do this. We compare
Yeah.
and see which versions we like.
Or an artist off of a song.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully this is the person that it says it is for this next one. We are now in the 1980s. And this is Tony Goodacre.
Who?
Tony Goodacre or Tony Goodacre.
That's a good acre right there.
Elsie, no.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Kind of undecided there because it shocked me so much because it was so extremely country.
It was.
Yes,
So
it
I
was.
don't think it's a version that I would go to, but the more I listen to it, it's like, okay, my brain is getting used to the concept that he's just taking it to a country place.
Yes.
He was a good singer.
Yeah, and I don't know that he even had like that much success or if he was like a more local singer. If any of you know of him and, you know, we're missing a famous person, then let us know in the discussion group or comments. But it just looks like he just recorded a bunch of country style traditional songs.
I mean, think about it. Couldn't you see people out there dancing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like it in the country style.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised more country artists didn't do it, like famous country artists.
He did it in a very classic country style too, versus the 1980s, which you had the actually a lot of female artists in the 80s. Country,
Barbara
like
Mandrell,
you had
the Judds.
Reba coming up, and they were kind of changing the sound of country music.
They were, although George Strait came on the scene in the 1980s
late
too.
80s.
who really, like, Ronnie Millsap is 80s too, so he definitely had a dynamically different country sound. It was crossover.
Ronnie Millsap's the Barry Manilow of country music.
I can't really argue with that in a way.
Or maybe Barry Manilow is the Ronnie Millsap of pop music. It can go either way.
It's true.
All right. Well, speaking of country artists, this is a female country artist, and she released this song. I don't know if it's recorded this time, but released this song in 2004, and it is Anne Murray.
I wonder who's kissing him now.
I did kind of like the arrangement of that version.
Yeah, I did too.
One thing that I thought was different was she didn't change the words for I wonder who's buying the wine. The other women artists said, I wonder who's sharing the wine. And I think I like the sharing better.
Yeah.
That's just personal preference. On the lyrics, the line that they say, I wonder who's telling him or her lies. It's like you go along listening to the song and they're talking about, and it sounds like a good couple, like the gal is gone from the guy and she's with somebody who's good for her until that line. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a random line, but it gives you a whole different feel.
It depends on how you take it. Like, the term telling her lies can also mean sweet talk.
That's what I think
Yeah.
he's talking about, yeah.
Like, not necessarily that they're actually lying to them, but,
what made them
promises you
draw...
don't intend to keep, as Cogsworth would say. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it's talking about. How did this person coax their sweetheart away from them in the first place?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I loved the guitar in it. I think that was my favorite part of it.
Yeah,
the
it
arrangement with
felt
the
very
guitar.
Roger Miller.
Yeah. And I liked how in the beginning it was that the first part, the acoustic, I can see what you're saying with the Roger Miller in the beginning, but I liked how then it went into that Stratocaster soft, nostalgic tone, even though it was still electric. Which kind of called back to that Hawaiian guitar sound that they had originally, but not quite. Alright, I'm not sure who the one that we did listen to that did it in the older style that was a more modern artist was. I didn't see her on there, but I didn't remember her name, so I probably skipped over. So for the last one, I have one more from 1947 that I'd like to go back to because I found it later. So this is by a guy named Tony Martin.
I wonder who's kissing her now.
Well, that was a fun version.
Yeah.
It definitely sounded like a mix of like the 30s version and the 40s.
Yeah, I loved
And
how it went into the really boogie-woogie, jazzy sound.
big band sound, yeah. It really picked up.
It seemed like a really good recording with a kind of the gramophone effect on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
It
did. I noticed that.
it did. Yeah, because it sounded like almost a 20s recording with a little bit more 1940s quality.
We should watch some Tony Martin movies.
Yeah.
What's he in?
The Casbah.
Oh.
I'm trying to
Isn't that
think
about
of-
a skunk?
Yeah,
Casbah.
who knows what skunk said that? Meet me at the Casbah.
You guys?
Pepe
Oh,
Le
yeah.
Pew.
Yeah, you're so smart. You must have been homeschooled.
Yep.
I think Till the Clouds Roll By, I watched that.
I've
Yes,
seen
we
that
have.
one. Yeah,
Yep.
he's in that one.
Is
Yeah.
it with Carmen Miranda?
That has a bunch of singers in it. I think Robert Walker is the main guy in it. We talked.
Maybe.
I think so. We talked about this movie in another podcast.
Isn't that the guy whose son played the creepy guy on Star Trek?
Yes.
Yeah, Robert Walker Jr. Or are you thinking of the Robert Walker movie with Judy Garland, where he's a military guy?
Nope. This one's about a composer that we
Oh.
talked about.
This isn't Robert Walker, it's Tony Martin.
I know, but
Yeah, but she said Robert Walker is Until the Clouds
Till the
Roll By.
Clouds Roll By. You brought up Till the Clouds Roll By, so I
he's
went
in
on
it
it.
too.
That's what Xena says.
You might need to fact check.
Where'd you
me.
learn that, Facebook?
And Doris Day grew up with the Williams brothers.
Is he in it? Is
Yep.
he in it?
Yep.
Well,
According to
let's
Xena's
see.
Facebook facts.
Yep. Totally
Xena's-
false information right there.
Xena's faulty Facebook
Yeah,
facts.
he is in it.
Ha!
Oh,
You're making fun of me.
are you
and
the little goat?
I'm the little goat.
Yep, we're going to have to share the little goat meme to discussion group.
Yeah, there's quite a few in it. Even Fred Finkelhoff.
What?
Wow. I always like movies with him in it.
He's like your favorite actor, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm a Finkelhoff fan.
Elsie would be a Finkelhoff fan.
She would.
Would that be a Finkelhoff? Or a Fankelhoff?
Let's see who Fred Finkelhoff is.
Elsie Finkelhoff.
No,
He's
that
an
doesn't work.
American film writer and producer. And he was born in 1910.
So he was a writer and producer. He wasn't an actor.
I was going to say he wasn't an actor, so he didn't change his
It
name.
said actor on there.
Oh,
Wow.
He just maybe makes an appearance.
maybe.
And he was married to Carolyn Joe Finkelhoff.
Oh my.
Did they have assorted little Finkelhoffs?
I don't know. It didn't say. No children.
Oh.
Oh, no little Finkelhoff.
Nobody could carry on the Finkelhoff name.
Okay, that's
We're kind of brutal right
that's
now.
not nice.
Oh my word. This has been a wild time this time.
I know. We're a little rummy.
This was a fun song to evaluate and listen to the different versions. I actually expected that people were going to change it up a little bit more than they did. It kind of stayed predictable, except for Dean. I,
best.
really liked his arrangement. And the country guy. The one that was
Yeah, Tony. Was it Tony?
Tony Goodacre? Or
Yeah.
Johnny Goodacre.
No, it's Tony.
Oh, it's Tony. Well, look at how wrong I am over here in my
Tony.
little corner.
So I gotta say, I do like Dean's.
Mm-hmm.
His is one of my favorites, but also Danny Kaye.
Oh, I could see where you
Yes.
like that one.
I did really like Danny Kaye.
Which version you
I
like?
liked Michael Holiday too.
I like Tony Martin. He got kind of jazzy and Dean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I did like Anne Murray's.
Yeah. Steve Lawrence and Michael Holiday were also
Steve
nice.
Lawrence. You know, he's one of my favorites.
You have a little crush on Steve Lawrence,
I
don't
did,
you,
I
Linda?
did. It was the pretty blue eyes.
He had the song.
He had the
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Mhm.
And don't forget about Bobby Darin's.
Oh, I liked Bobby
Yeah.
Darin.
For emotional effect, he would be the top
For
one,
you?
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as far as soothing, I really did like Michael Holiday.
Yeah.
I like his voice.
I think Dean wins completely.
Well, that's me too, but it's mainly
For
because of the-
originality.
for the 1970s arrangement.
Yeah.
Let's
And
match.
staying true to Dean.
I liked Danny Kaye's, Dean, and then, of course, Bobby's. But honorable mention to Randy Marr on the Vicky Carr recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did like his voice reminded me of a Jim Croce kind of
It
Ray
was very
Charles
folky.
sound.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah,
that those
like
two
a
sound
folky
like.
jazz kind of
Yeah.
different voice. Yeah. I liked him better as Randy Marr than John Randolph Marr.
Yeah.
I guess it matters what the name what
Yeah,
it goes
yeah.
by. Well, thank you for tuning in. Please let us know in the comments if this was your first time hearing the song and which version you liked the best. Maybe there's a version we didn't hear today that you prefer. So please let us know in the Squadcast discussion group. And then we will be back next week with another episode.
Yep, Artist Appreciation is up next week, and this is Mandy and Elsie's birthday month. So Mandy let Elsie choose the artist to showcase, and we are going to be showcasing, you want to tell?
Jim Croce.
So all those Jim Croce fans out there, get ready because we're going to pick our top 2 or 3 songs that are our favorites of Jim Croce's and really talk about his life and career.
Alrighty, until then, keep listening to great music, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye.